All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Westford. I'm here at the behest of the Cyberbully, and here today I have with me Buck Johnson of the Counterflow podcast.
What's up, guys? The cyberbully.
Oh yeah, he's a big friend of the show.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
That's what I've been working on. is trying to do all the work that he requires to get the signal out to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good job.
So you probably know a bit about it because you go to the same parish as Matt Erickson, right?
I do. Yeah.
So you get a little bit inside baseball there.
Yep. Yep. A little bit. I don't always pick his brain, but I do sometimes. He gets me some of the lowdown at certain times.
Gotcha. Hello, Yvonne. How are you doing, sir? Yes, I'm gone for a month, and here I am twice in one day. It's a miracle.
So I'm following up Stevie.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, he was the you're the headliner. I think he was the.
He's the opening band.
He's the opening. Yeah.
Well, I love Stevie, so here we go.
Oh, you're awesome for being here, Buck.
Slow boy. Well, you're awesome for having patience with me. I'm mailing that shirt tomorrow, so forgive me for my slacking, but it's coming.
I still need to thank you, Slow Boy, for getting me in contact with the Curse World Problems guys and King Pilled. That was fruitful from my end. So thank you for making that connection there.
Nice. She's the one that got you in touch with Matt?
Yeah, it's funny. Do you know the Curse World Problems guys, Colin and Justin?
I don't think so, but I like that name.
Yeah. Well, they recently rebranded to the White Hodge Twins.
Oh, I know who that is. I have heard.
Okay. Yeah.
This. Yeah. I think Matt actually told me about that. Okay. This tracks.
Yeah. So Slow Boy posted a clip from their podcast, and I saw that, and I started watching them all the time. Like a month later, Slow Boy was in my stream and said, "Let's all go raid King Pill." I don't know who that is. She did like 2 or 3 times, and then King Pill raided me, and I was like, "Okay, let's just talk. Who you guys? What's up? What's happening?"
Oh, okay. Nice.
So Justin and Colin were like, I'm like the one person that knew them before I knew King Pill.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. How long ago was that?
It was like last summer 2024.
Nice.
So one thing I think would be interesting to talk about is punk rock, and because I'm a millennial and you're Gen X.
Yeah.
So we probably have quite a different instantiation of all that.
Probably so. I was just talking about that with someone this weekend. Yeah, probably so.
Because I've heard you talk about the hot topification of stuff.
Yeah, hot topic Christianity.
Yeah, hot top. Yeah, with just hot topic nominally as it is, that's I remember all my friends being super into it, and it was kind of that wave of everything.
Yes. And it's funny, maybe I shouldn't say this in public. Someone alluded to me making reference to it being quote unquote hot topic. It's sort of the mall version of punk rock. And then that it was the hot topic of the moment, this post Charlie Kirk Christianity. And I was like, oh yeah, I totally meant that double play also. Hello. And then I did start thinking, I didn't ever in the article that I wrote on Substack, I never said, I took it for granted. It was a presupposition that everyone knew the store Hot Topic and what that represented. And I never clarified or anything. So the person that mentioned like, well, it's because of the hot topic of the moment. Oh, I think I should have clarified that, but I like the double meaning.
Yeah. So I first got into heavy music. I was like 7, 8. My older brother was in metal bands, and he showed me some heavy music, and I remember just like freaking me out. But then he showed me, I don't know if you've heard Blindside. They're like the first heavier band I actually got into.
I don't
probably
think
11
I know
or 12.
them. Okay.
They're Swedish. They started off as a Metallica cover band.
Okay.
But they'd be called like post-hardcore by most people.
Okay.
So that was the first thing that he picked me up from middle school, played that, and I was just like, this is music.
How old's your brother?
So, he's 7 years older than me. So he's an older millennial.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay. Goodness. Okay. Making me feel
old. So then I got into, because growing up, I just listened to the 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s stuff that my parents listened to, and
Yes.
my music was just whatever CDs they had at Lifeway. So I listened to Skillet and Audio Adrenaline and DC Talk and all that stuff.
Oh my goodness, DZ Talk. Okay.
But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
by middle school, I started branching out, listening to mostly like Protestant rock bands, Project 86, Showbread, Emery, May, all that kind of stuff. Tooth
See,
and Nail.
I have not heard of one of those bands you just
Dang.
said. Not
All
one.
right. Well, some of those are still the ones that I played. Like Showbread, Emery, and Blindside are kind of my top three, pretty much since middle school.
And they're prot metal bands?
Yeah. I mean, Emery is, I don't know. A lot of those bands go a lot of different genres. Showbread, I'd say, is more like they sound like Refused, especially their first album. That's what's their biggest influence.
I don't even know who Refused is.
Oh, that's like a 90s punk. It was like screaming. You never heard New Noise?
Mm-mm.
All right, well.
Look at us. See, I dated a girl who was 31 at the time, which was 2 years ago. So you close to your age. And I was madly in love with her. I'm still close with her. And the music discussions were always interesting because it was like, I don't know that band. And she'd be like, she did know some of the bands, you know, she knew the Misfits and some of the things I would talk about. But man, her stuff, I didn't know any emo bands or anything like that.
See, like Fugazi, Misfits.
Well, there we go.
Nah. Like that stuff I've heard, but I've never really I've never owned an album. I've never because I remember in high school I had I had a CD player in my truck, and I just listened to the same album over and over. I don't even have a car with a CD player in it, and unfortunately now, but that was just how I listen to music and then go into shows.
Yep. Slow Boy, I'm glad she said her age. I was just having a discussion about you with, I don't want to say his name, but you must know him. He's very close with Jay. This past weekend, and we were both saying, I wonder how old she is. And our guess, just based on comments, was about 41. Or actually, I know he knows you well. Now that I'm thinking about this, he knew you and your husband's name. We guessed about 41 based on comments, so it's good. And you got into ska in high school, so did I. That's when I got into it.
See, I like ska too, but we probably don't even have the same references there either.
Maybe not, but I do like from like 69 through some 90s ska, but 60s, 70s, 80s, I love. 90s stuff's okay. But I mean, the stuff I played in a ska band was my first band, and we were sort of, I mean, third wave. It's a little bit of that flavor, which is not my favorite, but I still like some of it.
How would you describe third wave? Is that like the brass and the upstrung guitar?
Mustard Plug, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Yep. 5 Iron Frenzy.
See, I never heard of them.
They're the Christian version I was able to listen to.
Okay. No, see, up until so from about 99 through 2020-ish, I was a hardcore atheist. And so anything with the title Christian in front of it would automatically be ignored.
See, all the bands that are Christian, I like usually talk about heartbreak and like, I don't know, like suicide or whatever, like this talking about life stuff, but they're like, it's very well known that they're all Protestants.
Okay. And by the way, I don't feel good that I was ignoring them all. But it's just it just is what it is. I would hear the term fellowship and it was like,
well, Mano and I've done like 2 shows where I just played him stuff I grew up with, and he kind of gave his like, oh, I can tell the influences here. Or, oh, turn this one off. It's awful. Mm-hmm. But there's probably 4 or 5 bands. Like, I'm actually going to throw these in the rotation or something. They're pretty good.
Oh, nice. Okay. See, these old guys can learn from young men too.
So Yvonne's saying we got to try playing some of the music I'm talking about. So let's try New Noise and see what you think.
All right. I'm going to be honest.
Yep, do it. That's fine.
And Slow Boy, Dickie from the Boss Tones is super bass, by the way.
This came out in 98. Okay, then it fades out, comes back in, and
Yeah, they need to come back in real
then,
heavy.
Okay,
That
we can play it out.
I think the drumming was really good. The groove was really good. It was much different than I anticipated it would be. And I love simplicity. And there was 2 monitors, a few microphones, a couple of, well, they had a lot of amps, but the drum set was very simplistic. I liked all that part of it. And
Yeah,
it
so
sounds
that's
like a guy's still singing in the background of your house.
oh, he's still
There he
singing,
is. I'm joking. That's your baby.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, what's going on?
No.
There's always like audio stuff freaking out, so I'm just like, oh no, again.
No. It's that
This
was
is the baby.
Yeah. Are those guys Protestant?
Though they are not.
Okay.
The people that are one of my favorite bands are like that's their favorite band basically.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah,
So
I've never even heard of those guys, nor seen them, nor heard them, but that was better than I anticipated.
So then I can show you the derivative that I like. I tend to, a lot of times I like the derivative more. Let me see if I can get maybe a video, play with it.
I hope they don't kick you from the stream.
Oh, they might. Well, this is a pretty small band.
Okay.
I don't know. I was gonna play this song, but this is the biggest song, and it's the one with the video on it. So what'd you think of that one?
That one was a little. I couldn't. Once she said the low T's, I couldn't get that out of my head. Just can we do a quick contrast and only play like 30 seconds? Can you type in agnostic front piece?
Yeah.
To show you what I'm more used to and maybe see the difference.
Okay, let me get it up here. There's an ad playing. Got to wait for the ad.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah, here we go. Gist of it. That's what I was. Less nail polish.
Yeah, definitely. And because I didn't know what Showbread looked like when I started listening to them. It wasn't what got me into it. But
yeah, no, I just, yeah, it's just a different feel, I think.
Definitely.
And Slow Boy Ass was that punk. That was like the classic New York hardcore band, Agnostic Front. With on the chorus there was Jamie Jasta from Hatebreed.
See, what that made me think of something much newer. And we can actually unpack some of the stuff we're talking about. We're just kind of bouncing around. Like when he's saying peace is not an option, those like that like lower like screaming. That's the stuff I like more. Is that type of vocal. So it makes me think of this band. It's called Kubla Khan.
Heard of this. I guess I should. Does that say TX from Texas?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this sort of groove. Andrew Turner, I love Speed.
Fade that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down real quick.
Yeah, they're really groovy. Very good like workout music.
Yes, exactly. That's really the only time I listen to a lot of this stuff anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I used to just have it playing all the time, everywhere I was going. Had headphones in, playing on the speakers.
Yeah, me too. Now it's at the gym. It's funny sometimes when I'm not listening to podcasts, it's sort of 50-50. And there's times I'm listening to podcasts and I look around at this big ass gym and I think, I wonder if anyone else is listening to, I don't know, like, the Tom Woods show or something like that. Yeah. You never know. This kid did come up to me once saying, "You have the Counterflow podcast." And I was like, yeah, it kind of caught me off guard. It's not what you expect to hear. So maybe there are.
Do you get that a lot?
No.
So I see Counterflow podcast shirts all the time.
You do?
Yeah, at my church, I see them like every week.
Well, yeah.
At church. Yeah.
But I was at a big ass chain box gym, so it sort of caught me off guard. Where do you live? Somewhere on the? Do you want to dox yourself? I know you live on the West Coast.
I live in Washington, close to Seattle.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
You're out in Texas?
Yeah, Lockhart, Texas, just south of Austin.
Yeah, I haven't been to Texas since I was 10. I went to my grandma's funeral. That's where most of my family's at.
Oh, where are they at?
Dallas, I think. I don't know. I haven't been in contact with most of them, my uncles and stuff for a while. They were going to have a family reunion this year, but my great uncle, who I've never met, was put on life support, and he was the one hosting. So it got rescheduled next year. So another year until I go back to Texas, I think.
Well, we can do like a King Pilled meetup or something when you come down.
Yeah.
I mean,
it might be a bit of driving
services, but yeah.
Texas
I know he likes to do those. Yes, it's huge, man. We're 3 hours from Dallas, so.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of long drives with my kids yet. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So with Showbread, that other band, that was like a huge influence on me, not just like musically, but philosophically, politically, because I started buying the lead singer's books. He had a bunch of novels. He had like one where dinosaurs came out of this crevice that opens up in Nevada, and they end up taking over the U.S. government and all this stuff. But he had like political books because he's a pacifist anarchist. So that became kind of my ruling philosophy for probably like 6-7 years.
Mm-hmm. Dinosaurs running the U.S. government is sort of a metaphor for reality, but yeah, it's
yeah. So pretty much not a lot of
right.
He was just telling could have been an actual story. Maybe it was an actual story.
Yeah. Lindsey Graham, dinosaur.
No. I can't hear his name without thinking about the ladybugs. I hope you don't know about that.
I don't.
No. Okay. We'll move on. If you know about the ladybugs, you know it's
I can already
it's not good.
imagine. My mind's
Uh,
wondering. I'll just write
it's
that
worse than
down.
it's
Look up.
worse than you think.
All right. Ladybugs, Mr.
Uh,
Graham. All right. Things to look up from Mr. Westford. Cool.
yeah, so I remember having a lot of hard conversations in like youth group because everybody was talking about like self defense or like almost everybody was a Republican, and I was strictly like no, like even self defense. You cannot, if you're a Christian, you cannot defend yourself. You cannot take
Mm.
another life. That's like Christ laid down his life. We should lay down our lives.
Mm-hmm. Where are you at
So
with that now?
definitely not there. I think. I mean, I have a gun now. I do jujitsu partly because it's uh, the one of the martial arts that you actually can subdue the person. It's not like I'm defending myself by punching you. I
Yes.
mean, I've done a bit of MMA too. I did a little Muay Thai, probably like freshman year of high school.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I remember when the UFC first started, and I can't remember what year that was. A long time ago. And we'd watch it at work and on DVDs. They weren't. I don't even know that they had pay-per-view back then. But shit, it might have been VHS tapes, and it was just like everyone, like no weight class. Like this guy knows Taekwondo. That's when Hoist Gracie sort of ruled everything. That's when everyone's like, "Oh, so karate can't win against anything." Interesting.
It's
And
just pageantry.
yeah, and people would get mad because Hoist Gracie would roll them up and sometimes use his gi and just choke them out from behind. And it's like, I didn't get to do any of those moves I practiced in rehearsal or whatever. And yeah, that was eye opening. And the boxer, yeah, it was fascinating. You'd have like this 400-pound fat guy versus Hoist Gracie, who weighed like 180 or something like that.
Mhm.
It was something else.
Yeah, and then they also didn't have like a lot of the rules established. There was no
Nope.
like moves you couldn't do, and
Yep.
there was times I've seen Hoist Gracie like breaking someone's arm. I didn't follow up to look it up, but like doing an arm bar and just keep going, and the guy's tapping, but he's waiting for the ref to call it, and the ref's not calling it, so he just
Yeah.
keeps going.
Yeah, and they're put in this weird position like, are you going to call this? Because his arm's about to snap if you don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if I give it up, am I gonna lose the fight?
Right. Yeah. Right. Ken
I don't want to get hit
Shamrock.
again.
Yeah, those were fun days. Dan Severn, Ken Shamrock, Hoist Gracie, Tank Abbott. This just a big biker, fat guy from like who'd kick someone's ass in a bar fight. He was badass too, though. It was those were fun.
And I haven't watched UFC lately, but I hear people complaining that like the meta of the game now is like low, like ankle kicks. You just kick the person's ankle over and over until it hurts to stand.
I have not watched it in a while either, to be honest with you. I do know also, I've seen clips. There's one of the main guys is Orthodox,
Hmm.
and he's always crossing himself, and I think he's got a tattoo of the Russian cross on his chest. I can't remember, but yeah. Anyway, sorry to rant. And
I was at in my MMA gym. They had a smoker with like I think it was like 13 fights, and one of the guys I'd never met there, he crossed himself the Orthodox way right before the fight. My wife was like, "We got to talk to that guy." I'm like, okay.
mm-hmm.
So we saw him afterwards, and we were like, my wife's like, "Are you Orthodox?" He's like, yeah, no, I'm not Southpaw. Yeah, and my wife's like, "What are you
Oh,
talking about?"
right.
I was like, "She's talking about religion. Are you a Christian?" He's like, "Well, my grandma's Catholic, and I'm trying to figure it out right now."
Mm-hmm. I've run into that a few times. Someone stopped me with, I had a Debt to the World shirt on, and he was like 15. And he was like, "Is that a Eastern Orthodox shirt?" And I said, "Yeah, kind of." And he's like, "Oh, wow. I love it." And I said, "Are you Orthodox?" And he's like, "No, but I'm thinking about it," or something like that. So
Yeah,
it's out there in the water
it's definitely entered the zeitgeist. What
for
would you say
sure.
since 2020 or before that?
It seemed, yeah, I mean, it certainly did then, but it feels like the last 2 years, maybe 18 months, have been even more. Like it feels like Orthodox explosion 1.0 this time around, let's say, was COVID, and then Orthodox explosion 2.0 has been in the last 18 months, and this one seems bigger. It seems more families and females coming into it, and I think just because of online stuff, again, it gets the word out to people. There's this Republican guy in South Carolina who's now like speaking out against Roe Corps, saying blah blah whatever he's told, because he doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's getting so many ears and eyes on it now. He's actually doing us a favor. So I know he's being told and paid by people and told what to say, but it's in the end, it's going to help.
What do you think is there any kind of catalyst, or is it just because of momentum, because of the internet? Because 2020, everybody had to slow down. They're on the internet more. Jay had already been building up a audience for over a decade at that point, and people are watching debates and having to question things now that they're thinking about death and hearing that millions of Americans are going to die and all that. But now it seems like what happened 18 months ago that pushed it? Was it just the ball rolling?
I think the ball rolling. People are more hungry for truth than they had been prior to 2020. And so the ball just kept rolling and rolling. And once the toothpaste is out of the tube. And I think a lot of the Zionist stuff, they're sort of in their last gasps, I should say. So they're sort of flailing around, and people are maybe looking up old religious stuff and where'd that movement come from. I assume that has stuff to do with it, because as the Zionist voices are screaming and flailing and getting angry at Nick Fuentes and Tucker and, well, everyone basically that's not on their side, which is most people. I just think people are starting to search around, and there's a hunger for truth. There's big names like Cleave to Antiquity, who is literally an assistant pastor in a Protestant church with a giant channel, and boom, he switches over. And there's more coming. I was told recently by someone in the know, he couldn't tell me who they were, but there's more big prot voices about to move further into the Orthodox Church. So it's just slowly, while I say slowly, it's sort of, on this scale of things, it's happening fairly quickly.
Right. I agree. So I discovered Orthodoxy through Peterson Peugeot. I think it was 2017. My brother-in-law was like, let's go to this talk. I'd never heard of Jordan Peterson, but I watched him to give a talk, and didn't get to meet him. His wife had a headache, and they left early before the meet and greet. But I bought his books, read them, and then he kept talking about Dostoevsky, so I read all those books, and that made me go, Christian monks? I don't know. I mean, like Luther? This seems way different.
Mm-hmm.
So then after reading those, I started watching Peugeot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's maybe like 2 years of reading and watching, and then I went to my first liturgy 2020 before the lockdowns.
Were you able to keep going?
Yes, with an asterisk. They closed everything down, and it was just online with live streams.
Okay.
And then they opened it back up, but there was no coffee hour. We weren't allowed to venerate icons. There was multiple spoons, masks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So my first Pascha was just I was making breakfast, and there was just a live stream on the counter.
Wow. Okay. Is that because of the state you were in? Literally the actual state, not the state of your mind, but the state you were in wouldn't allow it?
Yeah. And
Okay.
The church I'm at now didn't go along with all that stuff. That's why I'm at the church I'm at now, as opposed to the OCA church I was at before.
I was going to guess if it was OCA. Is it Roe Corps now? Your other one?
No, it is Antiochian.
Antiochian. Okay. I knew it'd be one of those, or Serbian. Okay.
Yeah. So it was a strange time to become an inquirer, because it was 7 months of, I think there was maybe 3 or 4 weeks of in-person catechism that I went to, and then everything was online on live streams.
Boom. Yeah.
And we'd get on like a Google meetup or something like that for the live stream, and the priest had curriculum laid out, and it was 7 months of me on my laptop or my phone going back and forth with him, because there was only, at that time, I think there was 3 other people other than my wife and I in the catechism class, and it was just me trying to defend my Protestant faith and come up with arguments against what I was hearing. And it took me 7 months to go, I can't defend my position anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm at the point where I have to say, either for 1800 years every Christian was incorrect, and I'm right, because I started looking into Luther and the Reformers. I'm like, I didn't even get taught half of the things they actually believe.
Right.
So I can't say that makes no sense to me. I can't do that.
Wow, that's nice to hear. I've actually used that thing that you just said with someone I'm close with who's diehard prot evangelical. So all of the Christians prior to a certain date, I always say in the 1800s, because we were talking about dispensationalism and the chosen people, etc. And they were all wrong, and you're right. And I was met with, well, the church fathers and the apostles didn't have a vast, this is almost embarrassing to say. This is not my opinion. Someone told me this. They didn't have the access to the knowledge that people like Schofield had. Ouch.
Right. Yeah, I always just ask now, like, if you can show me the thread of continuity from Acts to now, like,
Mm-hmm.
just show me an example every 100 years or so of what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
That will work with that. That's some good evidence. And I mean, I have a good friend who has been deconstructing really hard, uh, way more than I did, and he made some bad choices, and he's just trying to figure himself out now. And he's just trying to sweep away everything else. He's super into Peterson, so he has all of his like axioms, like don't if you're not gonna tell the truth, at least don't lie. These are the
Mm-hmm.
things he says all the time. But his approach is that he's just going to start with the Gospel of John, because John was like the closest apostle to
Mm-hmm.
Christ, so that's the one he thinks he can trust. He's not going to even look at any of the epistles. He says he doesn't trust Paul. He said he's very suspicious of Paul. So it might be like Hebrew, because like Hebrew roots people are usually very suspicious of Paul, or say it's a different gospel or
I've
something.
heard
So I'm
that.
not
Yeah.
not quite sure where he's at there, but I gave some pretty basic like philosophical questions, and he kept saying like I'm not even like at philosophy. I'm just trying to. He was doing kind of a classical foundationalist. I'm starting here and I'm building up. But I kept going. Well, that you know, you didn't just get the Bible. Like
Mm-hmm.
how did you get the Gospel of John? He's like, it doesn't matter. I have it. I'm like, all right. Well, I just have the church. I
Yes.
don't have to give you a reason. I have it. I know that's true because I have it.
Yeah. It does matter, but
Right.
he's just not there yet. That's fair. It's I always say it is for everyone. It's not for everyone right now. It wasn't for
Right.
me. When I first discovered orthodoxy, I was like, had this period of time where I was like, why didn't someone tell me about this? And I was sort of mad. And then it just hit me one day, like, because I would have probably laughed it off or just said, no, I'm
Yeah.
good. And then one day I was ready for it, and there it came right into my lap. So,
I have no idea how I would have reacted to it at various stages of my life. And when I first encountered it, like my first liturgy, I remember, uh, I don't know, not feeling a lot. Like I know a lot of people are have a big reaction to icons or the incense or the liturgy and all these things. I remember just thinking this is just another expression, and I
mm,
didn't really think to, because I'd been to a tons of different Protestant churches where they have all kinds of wacky setups. Like I was at one where it's just like a hall with basically like bleachers, not bleachers, but just stands that go up, and men and women are on different sides, and it's just like free. They call it like free Baptist or something. So anybody that wants to start sing a song or read a verse or say
oh,
what's on their heart, it was just everybody gets in a spot, they're standing, and then people just pop off popcorn style.
oh man. Okay.
So I'd seen like a dozen different ways that Prots did it. So I was just like, oh, this is another thing that people do. But I
Yeah.
remember getting in the line for communion, and the Matushka came up to me and was like, oh no, you're not allowed. And I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
like, what do you? I'm a Christian. What are you talking about? I didn't believe it was the body and blood. I didn't even know what they believed.
And there
But
you go. And that's
I
why.
was I was incredulous.
Yeah. 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 My first one, I just thought signs have led me here. I need to do this. And the first liturgy, again, having not been to any church in 20 years, and prior to that, it was a loud mega church, John Hagee pastor. I was like, this is different, uh, but I'm open to it. But interesting, they sing everything. Okay. Unto ages of ages. Boy, he says that a lot. Yeah, it was a trip.
And I remember because there was probably I don't know, 4 to 7 months where I always say I was the most passionate about being a Protestant when I was trying to take down Orthodoxy. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
never something it's just what I believe. It's what I taught. I did a whole lot of apologetics classes in my church and in high school and everything. So I felt like I really defended it and I felt like it was true, but I was never confronted in a way I felt like I couldn't handle until Orthodoxy. So I had to start posturing.
Yeah.
And it, somewhere between 6, 7 months in, that's when I was like, okay, I started having a mental assent towards it. Okay, I've been convinced of this. But there was another layer of, okay, I understand icons now. I've been shown all the stuff from the Nicaea 2.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense to me, but it's not my culture. I've never kissed icons. That's not something I'm comfortable with. I don't do that. I just don't do that. And then I remember hearing like the explanation for the sign of the cross. Like, okay, I can do that, but then trying to do it in liturgy, everybody starts crossing. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
even know when to do it.
Looking around like, oh, now? No,
Yep,
wait, he's not
yep.
doing it. Wait, do it now. Yeah.
It's crazy because now that I've been Orthodox for 4 years since I've been baptized, it's like whenever they say whenever they evoke the Holy Trinity, pretty much. I mean, there's other times, but it's pretty much when it happens.
For sure then. Yeah. And then sometimes I just get moved to do it. And it's like, no one's going to say, don't do that. So
yeah, it's never, I think my first priest said there's never a bad time to sign the cross.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. We can, do we want to get into hot topification? We kind of touched on it.
You're running the show, my man.
All right.
Whatever you'd like.
So when you heard Showbread, for instance, they're not a hot top. They were never like in Hot Topic, and I feel like most of the bands I really got into were never actually in Hot Topic, and part of that they're probably adjacent or whatever. But I think of, have you ever heard Falling in Reverse or A Bullet for My Valentine?
What was the last one?
Bullet for My Valentine.
Yes, I know of them.
Yeah. I think of those bands, and those are like the more mainstream, popular bands that were in Hot Topic. And I like the bands that are like similar, like the people that like that would probably like what I like. But it's,
I mean, even Insane Clown Posse, I think, had their stuff in there. I mean, the Misfits were all about, at least Jerry Only's version, before they kind of reunited. Jerry Only's whole thing was marketing the Misfits. That's what Danzig hated. And so the Misfits were always in Hot Topic. Again, I always think when I would have seen shirts and products from those bands you're saying, it would have just been more like Charlie Brown's teacher talking, wah, wah, wah. Like, yeah, there's things up there with like funny logos or splatted blood. I don't even know who that is. But I remember going in there sometimes, always hoping like maybe I'll see like one cool band shirt in here, maybe. And sometimes I did. And I guess when I talk about Hot Topic Christianity, I'm not totally knocking Hot Topic itself. It's just it's so different from the original version of punk rock, which is do it yourself, selling your stuff outside of a big show going on and no one cares. And then all of a sudden it's this like in the mall culture.
It's a commodity.
It's a commodity. And the materialism of it, like, ooh, now it's more expensive. Dropkick Murphys are up there. And these kids in like middle America and their moms are buying so it was so different from the punk rock that I grew up with. Like, oh, it's in a store. Oh, it's in the mall. Interesting. Okay. And
so it's punk rock, but with permission.
It's it's heavily, exactly. It's with permission. It's commodity. That's a good way to put it. And so it sort of struck me. It hurt a little bit the first time I saw that, like inside, like I don't even want to go in there. Oh, let me go see if there's something cool. It was just something I wasn't used to. It's like that store called Spencer's Gifts or something like that, where it's sort of like they're like a commodity. They're commodifying like the culture of white trash garbage, and then I would see Hot Topic, and it's like, maybe punk rock is dead. It was sort of that feeling.
Well, is punk rock dead?
That's a good question, and it's often asked. I would say the original spirit of it is not the overwhelming um, how it sort of manifested itself into subculture, yeah, that is dead for sure. I mean,
I got it.
the internet made it sort of slowly killed it off. Um, it's just you'll never have that. I mean, you can in certain pockets, but like zines, like Death to the World, like zines and do it yourself and setting up outside of a show and selling your stuff. That's just, I mean, the spirit of that is gone. It just is. I mean, the internet killed a lot of sort of that pure spirit of a lot of certain subcultures. It just, there's no way to fight that, and I'm glad we have the internet. But yeah, there's older people that still have the. I was just at a conference with Justin Marler from that started Death to the World, and there's Jay and all these people have all their merch like we're at a concert, but like selling books and stuff. And there's a icon store, and then here's Justin outside in the parking lot with a box selling his shirt. And it was like, there it is. That's that punk rock spirit, but that's largely gone.
Well, yeah, my wife message here. We went to Furnace Fest in Alabama maybe 2 years ago, and they had. I mean, it felt like it was pretty punk rock at some of it. Like we talked to this one guy who looked really punk rock, and he was trying to get us to become communists.
Yeah, there's and COVID killed a lot of it too. To be honest, I get the punks that are legitimate communists. Obviously it's not my thing, but when the large mass of them went to, I want Joe Biden to win, and I'm scared of COVID. I mean,
When what was the guy from Rage Against the
Rage
Machine that
Against
was
the
just like
Machine. That was a
just
perfect.
advocating for the machine?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And I mean, Green Day did it. Dropkick Murphys did it. Al Barr, one of the singers, quit over that stuff. So at least he had some balls. But outside of like the hardcore spirit's still there in hardcore music.
Yeah.
Terror, Madball, and these guys played an outdoor performance in New York City, and they got like 80% love, but the 20% of these, what's the nicest way to say it? Feminized punks were like, I can't believe you're doing this and you're gonna kill people. Like, yeah, well, you shouldn't be at a hardcore show then. And so the hardcore scene still has a lot of that actually, but largely the punk rock stuff's been feminized and sort of corporatized and ruined.
When Trump took office, I was kind of in a like a liberal unmooring from my Republican conservative upbringing. So I remember like all my friends were. I had a lot of friends that were scared and thinking that people were going to be like lynched in the street and all this stuff. But
Mm.
by like 2018, I was like fully on board. I'd come back to being conservative, and I was watching all of the Own the Libs videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing everybody saying that MAGA is the new punk rock. Like this is
Yeah,
the thing that's
for
against
sure.
it's David versus the Goliath.
Yep.
This little coalition that's going against all these mega corporations and this giant deep pockets pushing these agendas.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I was one of the people saying that, and it was funny. Like the symbol of punk rock from the old days, Johnny Rotten, the singer of the Sex Pistols, was wearing a MAGA hat, and not trying to be funny or ironic. Like he was saying that. Like, why did so many quote unquote punk rockers now are like fighting for the Biden sort of establishment, if you will? And here's this guy sort of like with his fist in the air before he actually literally put his fist in the air after being shot. Like this is sort of the punk rock spirit, like pushing back against all of this bullshit we've all put up with. And yet there's a bunch of punks, quote unquote punks, that are like, he's mean on Twitter and he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
lock me up or whatever. And it's like, no, like all the things that you like are what's bad, and you've somehow been lulled into this sleep of Obama. Like ruined a lot of people. I remember when Trump got elected and all these people were crying. Here I had been voting libertarian for my entire voting life, and I had no one I ever voted for won. And I just remember thinking, why are you crying? Like, did he lull you into like being so weak and lame? Obama, that is, like, you just think you get your way, and then if something against your way happens, you cry and flip out and go march. Like, what? Give me a break. Yeah, the whole thing was shocking.
Why do you think that is? Because I think back like all the things I see, like punks were really against Reagan and like made a lot of propaganda against him. Was it just like this person's on the right, we
Yeah.
don't like him, we're against him, and now it's just like without thinking they just fall into a groove of that, or was it because they've been like how did they be propagandized
The
to fighting for the
propagandized
power block?
because being propagandized made them fall into that groove. And then Trump represented something against, I mean, as much as boomer Republicans love to talk about Reagan, I mean, Trump's done it too, just because he doesn't know. But like, I mean, Trump was not like his policies were not Reagan-esque. If anything, they were more Pat Buchanan. But punks didn't know who that was, and Pat Buchanan never had any power, and so no one ever pushed against him. So it was just like, I like the punk rockers. We hate Reagan. We hate Bush Senior. We hate Bush Junior. And it's like, I get that. I mean, those policies I can't stand too. But the failure of a lot of those policies is what made people upset against the quote unquote establishment to vote for Trump, because he was sort of, at least rhetorically, against all of those policies, and they all blend together. It's Reagan, Obama, Bush, Clinton. It's all sort of intermingled, like with the outlier being, let's argue over which like the tax rate. Okay, that's not why punk rockers hated them. They fell into this sort of propagandized machine, and it's just all of a sudden one guy stands up against it, and because he has an R by his name, whoa, my God, he's just the devil himself. And it was like years of propaganda sort of culminated in that moment, and you sort of saw like, oh, you guys have been, this is like the whole thing, punk rock's dead. Like, what do you, I thought you were against the machine, and now you're all caught up in it.
Is MAGA still punk rock?
No. Well, that's a good question too. So I think Trump has gone sort of jumped the shark himself, but what he did that was important was create a block, a massive block of people that still sort of carry, if you want to call it, and I mean punk rock in the good way, not that it's dead, the base and some of the talking heads that sort of spawned from that are punk rock. I mean, at this point, MTG is way more punk than Trump himself, but Trump almost doesn't matter anymore from this point on. But what he created does matter, and so there is still sort of that pushback. You can't put that back in the tube; it's too late. That's out there. Tucker Carlson's not going away. Nick Fuentes, which has surprised me. I kind of shied away from him for a long time. In all honesty, I discriminated against him because of his age, so I never even
Because
listened.
he's a Mexican.
I always wonder about that too. It's funny that
He's like he's half Hispanic, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, Fuentes? He's white nationalist? Okay. But yeah, so I think what Trump sort of stirred up and created is still there and still is punk rock. It almost doesn't matter what Trump himself does at this point. It's not going to kill that part of it.
Yeah, because
that was very important, by the way. That was very important. There's no more like massive George Bush movement. There's no more massive Clintonian movement, but there's still
the Obamas are gone.
Yeah, and Trump will be gone. But the movement that he stirred up, it's going to keep going, by the way, and it's going to surpass whatever he started, and it's kind of surpassed him at this point. But that's good. We don't want to be stale and stagnant. And if it passes him up, so be it. But it's not going to die away anytime soon.
Kingpill keeps talking about whoever's going to seize power next is going to be whoever, in the eyes of the MAGA bloc, is doing MAGA better or more. So even the people on the left are going to be coming in and trying to be saying, "Oh, we're carrying on Trump's legacy." And
yeah. I agree with Matt there. I've heard him talk about that, where it's sort of like a MAGA left versus a MAGA right, and maybe even, I don't know if there's a libertarian involved in there somewhere. But yeah, he sort of uncorked this thing, this spirit within America, and I don't mean spirit necessarily in the religious text, but you can't undo it. It's too late, and it's fascinating. I think Tucker is carrying it like deeper and more pure than Trump really ever did. Um, so we'll see. Yeah, I don't think it's dying, and I think that still has a sort of. I don't like the term revolutionary because I think that's inherently either Jewish or leftist, and so I don't mean it like that. But like a a healthy rebellion against what's unhealthy,
Right.
and what's unhealthy is what we've been saddled with since I've been alive. So that still exists. That still has a punk rock element to it, and part of that is like the middle finger and like we don't care. We're going to say what we're going to say. Tucker says it all the time. You can call me all the names you want, and I'm still out here doing it. I don't have to work for the corporations anymore. Candace is doing it to an extent. And you can't silence you again. You can't put that toothpaste back in the tube, and it's not going to be.
Do you think Zionism is going to be an issue for the MAGA bloc, that it might fracture? Because you kind of see already two sides. I don't really know how big the sides are, and I think this has been kind of a long time coming. But this
Yes.
last year and a half or so, the JQ has been popped open. From my perspective, it was like Martyr Maid's podcast on Tucker
Yep.
was a big catalyst where people
That
had
started it.
their golden calf questioned, like, and then people started coming out saying they love. I just lost his name. The Prime Minister of England. Why I can't think of his name. Big Winnie the Pooh dude. What's his
Churchill.
name? Churchill. Yeah.
Yeah.
People are like suddenly were like all about Churchill. I love him. He's the best.
Yeah.
Like you probably didn't think about him for a decade before this, but
Correct.
as soon
Those
as
were.
the World War II narrative is questioned, people came out of the woodworks to defend it, and then it's just been kind of in shambles. And with the rise of Nick Fuentes,
Yes.
it's even more. But I mean, that's even 2016 and on. The main fight from the MAGA's perspective was it's Trump versus the neocons more than Trump versus the libs, because that's like
Right.
the rhinos are the ones that are going to infect it from within. And is that
Yeah.
just basically the same? Is that the same thing as saying the Zionists versus
Yes.
normal people?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's funny. That's a good point about Daryl Cooper's. It seems like Tucker is driving the narrative more than anyone else in the political sphere right now, and it's basically him moving forward, sort of with this OG MAGA movement. There's Pat Buchanan aspects to it, of course, and then all these paid actors and informants or whatever you want to call them, who every time Tucker drops an episode, there it is. Boom, boom, boom. Oh,
Yep.
Tucker said this. Tucker said this. They say that like he has more narrative pushing power than Donald Trump does at this point, because it's just every episode you look at social media, boom. Oh my God. Now Tucker had this guy on. Now Tucker said this. Look who he's platforming. But the
Yep.
thing is, that's 5% of the media landscape are these people that are upset. Like Mark Levin, he could go get
Oh man.
his audience is at IHOP from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And people like Ted Cruz, also whose political career will be over next time he's up for election. Everyone on that side's losing, and if they haven't already lost, they're very, very close to losing. And it's just fading away. It's because again, they're representing something that's false. Their whole worldview and the base of their spirituality and in their philosophy is fake and a lie. And we're in the age of information, and you can't keep people just know better at this point. And no, does everyone know better? And do I wish everyone would understand the truth more? And do I wish the Orthodox Church would grow? Yes, but that's coming at some point. But as far as the political aspect of it goes, that Zionist stuff's done. There is absolutely, they'd have to absolutely rig an election for this to have any staying power.
And do you think that would just galvanize people even further to keep that?
Yes.
To keep it as on its last breaths rather than being resuscitated?
It won't be resuscitated. It's not. It's just gone. It's dead. It's dying. Part of it is, I saw someone in the comments talk about the boomers. I mean, part of it is the age.
I was going to bring it up. Yeah. All of the young people, like all the guys in my church who are, 18 to, or even like 15 to 24, they call me a boomer because I'm, 6 years older than them.
They call me that too.
But they're all like JQ aware, and
Yep.
most of them like Fuentes way more than I do. I have warmed up to Nick Fuentes since Charlie Kirk's assassination. And it might
Same.
be just because I think part of it was I saw stuff about Charlie after his death that I hadn't seen before, and I hadn't really given him a big chance because I just looked at him as this is a guy in 2018 I would have been into on YouTube clips or whatever. But I feel like just like Jordan Peterson and all these other people, I've outgrown him. So I just didn't really put him anywhere in my mind of like because he was honestly an operator. He was going out and had a specific goal, and he's way more
Yeah.
based than his persona that he was building was, and that was intentional. So it's similar to Nick Fuentes, where I never I only saw clips, never like actually watched him, listened to what he said, and it just seemed like he was taking things like way too far with the JQ. Like because I mean I know people that kind of like worship the Jews in a way, like their hate for them,
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
their vitriol for the injustice is like their pinch of incense, and it's like it's what they talk about. It's
Yes.
like, oh yeah, I get it. I think it's fine and good to be aware, to read books, read For My Legionaries, read all this stuff, read Mein Kampf, but you got to live your life, and you gotta focus on Christ. You gotta fight the evil with good. Like the
Yes.
the way you kill the Jew is you love the Jew. That
Yes.
destroys their identity because they want your hate. It's
Right.
what drives them.
Yes. And when we say that, it's not, of course, this sounds like a boomer precept, but it's not all the Jews. It's Judaism, it's Zionism. And the problem sometimes with people that get sucked too far into that thing is like you're like the libertarianism that I came from, where it's like, I can't stand the state. Oh, you're a statist. Oh, you worship the state. And it's like, dude, is that all you think about is the state? Like if you're led by what you hate, then you're going down the wrong path.
Well, even if you get what you want, you'll destroy yourself. Like
Yes.
if
Well,
punk,
there is no
if
getting what they want. There's no getting what they
right,
want. That's the problem, is that they're led by some angst or anger. And it's like, dude, um, find what you don't like, understand why you don't like it, what the danger is. But you have to lead, you have to be you have to be Christian. And in our case, you should be an Orthodox Christian first, and then let that paint your worldview. And so, yeah, the things against orthodoxy and Christianity we don't like, but we don't wake up and go, "What do I hate? Who's coming after orthodoxy today, and how can I hate them and fight them?" Right?
right, yeah, you have to be sober about it. You can't. You can get addicted to a feeling, and a lot of people are
Yes.
addicted to um, being victimized.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Even
Well.
on the right, even Orthodox Christians I know. I mean, a lot of them. It's kind of like punk rock, like with MAGA being the punk rock, that base being the one fighting against the Zionist machine, against. And I think like when I think of liberalism, the way we think about it now, it's basically just like a power arm extension of Zionism. It's just these Gentiles who have been totally propagandized and are doing the bidding uh,
Yes.
of the higher level boss or whatever. And yeah, it's if MAGA is punk rock on the base and it does win, how does it keep that spirit if it's the one in power now? Because punk rock, for the most part, the spirit is David and Goliath. Like that
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm up against. I'm fighting for what I believe in and right. I don't care if you think what you think I look like, what you think. Because I mean, I grew up in Protestant circles and going to youth groups, and there was a. I remember one youth pastor, like it was just talking to me, and he stopped me. He was like, "You're what I call an alternative." What does that mean? He's like, "You don't fit in any box, do you?" I
Yeah,
guess
it's
not.
like, well, we're Christian. What box are we supposed to fit in other than this
Yeah,
one? Um, but there's a element with these Zionists that you're asking about, trying to what would you call it? Hot topicify MAGA. I mean, that's what they're doing. You see Ted
I've
Cruz,
seen it.
I'm really MAGA. Tucker's not MAGA. And Mark Levin. Mark Levin's funny because he's so annoying. He doesn't have a face for TV, nor a voice for radio, nor a brain for Twitter. Yet here he is on all of them. And it's these guys all of a sudden. It's funny. It's like Charlie Kirk. They always joke that, like, or maybe they're serious, that Trump was the dam holding back the evil. Charlie Kirk almost seems like he was the dam within on the right, because somehow these Zionist voices, they were there, they were chirpy, but not like they are now. And
Hmm.
boom, Charlie Kirk's gone. And here they are. They're trying to be loud and proud and take over the MAGA movement, make it hot topic MAGA, because it's just going to be, it's like, well, they were all never Trumpers because Trump was against what they represent. And now Charlie Kirk passes away. And then they're like, here's it's our movement now. So not that they were responsible for Charlie Kirk's death, but if they were, this is what it would look like.
Right. And I think if it was a propagandized lib that's still by proxy, uh, you know, from what I can't remember the term, but if you propagandize somebody enough to commit an atrocity and you just have
Yes.
the opportunity available, so you don't know
Yes.
who the agent is, but you know
Right.
you've propagandized enough people for there to be an agent.
Correct. Yeah. If the incentivization, excuse me, I don't even know how you say that. If they're incentivized enough to do it, if the incentive structures laid out there, made by these people, it doesn't say that Mark Levin had to go and whisper in this dude's ear and go, "Hey, do this thing," or all these Zionists that took him up, that took Charlie up to that meeting. Um, those aren't the ones that had to necessarily do it. They can create an incentivized structure to where some crazy person does it. And that's how all conspiracies work. It's like they didn't all get in a dark room with cigars and like it's your time to go make this action happen. They can put out incentivized just structures again, and then
Right.
that's sort of once you lay that out, you're still responsible.
And it could be somewhere in the middle with like, a glowing person in Discord giving you hints and suggestions, and
Correct.
you know,
Well, it
and
seems
it.
that was the case. I don't know if you watched Tucker's expose on the guy that shot at Trump. But that was fascinating as well. He was left, 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 and then boom, something switched to where, excuse me, he was right, 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 right wing, and then boom, something switched. He became left wing. And this guy in the comments under certain videos was like, hey, you should really make a move here. And then they researched who that guy was and tied him back to some foundation. Um, so there you have it.
Yep, just nudges. That's all it
Yes,
takes.
little nudges. Yeah.
And I think there's like top down and bottom up hot topification. Like, let's just go with MAGA. I went to a MAGA. It wasn't a Trump rally, but it was a MAGA rally, and they had all these different little organizations. There was one called the Three Percenters, and
Yeah.
they're all
I know.
libertarian. And okay, so I went, and because I remember it was during 2020, during all the lockdowns, it was like late 2020, and I was there because we're like, I want to go to restaurants again. I want to support these businesses. I want my business might be closed down. I'm not against. I'm against all this. I'm for normalcy. And I met some normal people, but there was a lot of insane people, like
Yeah.
a lot of young people that were insane. That I remember this one girl probably had like just converted to MAGA from being a lib like a month ago, and she showed up and she had a katana, and she's like, "I'm gonna go to the Capitol. There's a lib rally over there." And she like gets in a jeep and drives off. Who are these people?
Yeah, right. Get out of here, Fed. That sort of thing.
Yeah, like you try
Who's
you
with
fed
who's with
posting in real
me?
life.
Who's with me? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Okay. Um, so where do you think we're going from here with MAGA? What are the next before the next election cycle? Where do you think we're going?
Hmm. It's hard to say. We're in this period of time over the last couple of years where, I mean, nothing, literally almost nothing, would surprise me at this point. I kind of want to. I keep telling my friends, if you imagine going in a time machine just 1 year from right now, would really anything surprise you as to what the landscape looked like? I guess it would surprise me if, say, like Kamala Harris was the leading candidate and everyone loved her. That would surprise me. But we're not there. I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh,
Uh,
would it be even more surprising if Tim Walz made a big comeback?
yeah, something moving backwards would shock me as far as establishment. But it feels to me like this certain this it's almost like the milieu of political discourse is going to end up being like AOC or this Mondami guy, not even specifically them, but what they represent versus Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, or what they represent. Not, but I do think it will be Tucker for the next election. But I think we're headed towards, there's no like soft establishment middle ground to be had, because there's nothing there that anyone's looking for except for boomers who are dying off. And
Right.
I don't want them all to die off. My parents are boomers, and I'm very close to
Mine
them.
too.
So I'm not saying that like cheerleading it, but it just is what it is. And again, like you mentioned, below that age group, this Israel thing, no one will win a national election without disavowing it. That just is what it is at this point. So if you have any ties to it, or if you're sort of covering this Epstein thing on any side, which both sides are doing, you're out. Anything tied to you will not have a chance. It's just, that's my thoughts. That's my feelings on this. I do think it's hurting JD Vance. I'm not sure he's got a chance at this point. We'll see.
Oh,
Again,
wait, you don't think so?
no,
Because he hasn't really come out against or
but
for.
he's going to have to come out and say, I disagree with, again, we'll see. As it is right now, he's not saying like, well, we need to come out and denounce Israel, because he can't, because his
Right.
boss is going to, he almost lives with the guy. It's awkward. And so he's in a tough spot. Again, you never know what happens. At this point in time, I think he has no chance. I like him. He's standing up for the Orthodox Church.
He didn't kiss the wall.
He didn't kiss the wall. I don't personally like him because I don't know him, but he seems like a good politician, which there aren't many. But this pushback on Massey and MTG, that the MTGs and Masseys and Tuckers are winning the day, no matter what anyone in the Republican Party thinks. They're just wrong if they don't understand that. And so it's like, if that's the hill they want to die on, that's the hill they're going to die on. And but the people are with Candace Owens has the biggest podcast on the planet right now. So, you know, if you'd rather back Lindsey Graham and Mark Levin, do that at your own peril, but it will be your peril and you will not win. And so JD Vance is going to have to distance himself from any sort of thing like that. Otherwise, he is out. And he's not doing that at this moment. Again, we're still early into this administration. There's plenty of time to work on that.
Right.
But
because
yeah,
paralleling it with, oh my gosh, my brain's not working. Who's the last vice president? I have his face in my head.
With Biden?
No, sorry. I don't consider
Oh.
he's not. He was never actually president, so I don't.
Oh, with
consider
Trump,
him.
Mike Pence?
Mike Pence, yeah. There was a
that's
fracture
all gone.
there.
Yes.
There was a fracture there, but it's pretty late in the game. I don't.
Yep.
How would it look like if there was a fracture now with 3 years left?
Fair enough. Yeah. And maybe JD is being wise and playing it close to the vest and sort of keeping that. It could be JD and Tucker next ticket. Who knows?
People are saying, I see a lot of JD and Erica Kirk.
That's interesting. I don't want to say anything negative about her because I don't know what's in her heart and what I do know what she's gone through, but I can't imagine it. There seems to be a lot of pushback on some of the stuff she's done and said by the MAGA crowd, in my opinion, and questioning some sincerity.
Yeah, I think with her coming out and speaking and everything, it feels like political moves. It's hard to know what's sincere. Going back, I think the nail in the coffin for Zionism is you have all the reapers on the right, like everyone who's 30 and below is at least sympathetic to Nick Fuentes.
Yes.
And everyone on the left is like free Palestine.
Yeah,
they're not
right.
in it either. Yeah. So they don't have a base on either side to stand on.
Yes. Which is why all these screaming voices like Mark Levin and Ted Cruz are flailing right now. They are like constant. It's all you hear every day. Laura Loomer, because this is literally their last chance at life, not their physical life, but that movement. It's just this. It's a losing cause. It's dead. It's dying. And they're just screaming it, into the wind, like, please, you guys are Nazis and all these things, but no one falls for that anymore because of the MAGA movement. The MAGA people got called all those names, and it's like, this doesn't have any power. There's no teeth.
You only made us stronger.
Right. And so no one sort of falls for that thing anymore. And then you hear Mark Levin sounding like a psycho, and then you hear Tucker and Candace refuting, and it's like, who sounds smarter to you? And
Well,
then
it's
you
also
have,
so obvious, like with the Nick Fuentes interview with Tucker,
yes,
immediately, like I don't know, within hours, uh, Ben Shapiro had this hit piece on him. So like, here's all the 10 things wrong with Tucker and what he's doing, and I disavow him. But like I watched that first, and then I watched Tucker's interview. I was like, he's not agreeing. He's pushing back quite a bit. Like, did
did
you
you see
watch this?
do you see the numbers on that interview versus Ben Shapiro's retort?
No, but I'm sure there's a
It's
big disparity.
absolutely insane. It's like me versus Joe Rogan, that
Hmm.
level. It's ridiculous. So it's just like, dude, I mean, I get it that you're giving this your last shot, Ben, but I mean, your cause is it's moot point at this point.
What's your take on Brylan Hollyhand? You know him?
I don't know who that
Ah,
is.
like a week after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, this dude just shows up and he's like, he's picture Lindsey Graham, but he's 19.
Oh,
That is exactly what he looks like. And let me try to see if I can pull this up really fast. Okay, I got that one. I got to pull one more thing up. But it was clearly just like out of nowhere, showed up, probably being propped up by huge money, and is just saying, "I'm the new Charlie Kirk. Um, I'm here, and we're America first, and I want to everybody to know I'm going to go to campuses, and I'm going to be speaking about our number one ally, Israel."
yeah.
And clearly just like a desperate attempt. But Matt Kingfield had a really funny idea, and I went with it. Okay,
Well, see, notice I've never heard of him. That should tell you all there is. Not that I'm some
right.
end all be all of who's who, but I'm fairly plugged in to following politics. I don't even know who this guy is.
Yeah, he just showed up on X and he was just like getting big views for a guy who's never posted at all.
That's always a red flag of
Oh,
obviously
come on, where's your?
being
I
paid
can't
for.
even find any of his videos now. Did he get? Did he get? Okay, here's one. This isn't the one I was looking for, but you'll pretty much feel the astroturf just
There's
exuding
a
from him.
cancerous ideology spreading on the
Oh, I've
right
seen
from a
this
small
guy.
but loud group I call the woke rights. They
The
scream
woke right.
hate and pretend it's courage. Here's the problem though. The left didn't disavow their cancerous ideology years ago, when the squad was just a radical fringe having press conferences. And now that loud minority grew under their base, and that movement is about to elect a socialist to run America's biggest city.
This
If we
is
don't
boomer
call out our
talking
own
points.
in the name of
Yep.
winning elections, this fringe will drag our party
Yeah. Does
off
anyone
a
actually
cliff
see him?
like
Is
the
he AI?
squad did to the left. I
This
refuse
is
to let
so
that happen to
fake.
us. You can be a bold conservative without being a bitter one. We can call out bad things the Israeli government does.
See, well, even that, him saying that we can call out bad things Israeli government does, that's a concession.
It is, and the truth is that no, according to his masters, no, we can't. So that's
Right.
a lie. That's fake. Those are all boomer talking points. Again, talking points that no one falls for anymore. I guarantee you. I do feel one of the white pills in this moment is when you see someone like him post on Twitter. I guarantee you, 95% of the responses underneath are negative.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, no, like more than that. It's
Yeah.
everybody. And I had a lot of fun because Matt had this idea that we astroturf the astroturf. So we just turn him into this. This is what he becomes. We have
Right. Look, we found a picture of him. He's a secret
Right.
Nazi.
It was really fun. I started posting this everywhere, and I like one had like 40,000 views, and like, everybody was like, there was like maybe 6 guys that got it, and then everybody
Yeah.
else was like on my side, but throwing rocks at me. I'm like, I was just commenting back like, no, watch the signs. It's obvious. He's dog
Yes.
whistling all the time, and it was really funny because there was a couple times like he was doing interviews, and there was something that could be pretty easily interpreted as like a Nazi talking point. I was like, there it is. Look, I was right.
Yeah. Yeah. These and anyone, I mean, we don't even have to say this, especially to your crowd. This term woke right is so stupid.
It's another like dying, gasping
Yeah.
breath,
And
attempting to hold its ground.
it's such like double speak 1984 or something. It's like woke right because you're upset that these people you're calling woke are saying things about Israel, and Like, it's so obvious. Like, so you're being so woke. People were upset if you say anything about black people or anything about gay people. But if you say anything about Jewish people, wait, no, you're woke, not the one who's upset about it. So it doesn't even make any sense. It's silly. It's a failing talking point. Also, no one takes it seriously. Again, it sort of makes me smile, at least, to go like, yeah, good try, good one. And if we don't like the vaccine, we want grandma dead. Got it.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's pathetic, and I think it should give everybody courage that these are our enemies.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's like we're up against boomer talking points from an effeminate young boy, just repeating something that he was told to say, and he sounds like Ted Cruz. Got it. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, even with all the libs, like we have to own the libs. I'm like, that's what
We-
they're doing that.
Yeah,
That's why the jokes are so easy to write, and it's like low hanging fruit. It's like when all of the comedians were making fun of Trump. It was like just the low hanging fruit. This is
yeah.
just
And their
boilerplate.
shows and their shows all slowly lost viewership because it
Mhm.
wasn't funny, not clever. They're all saying the same thing.
I have to clap now. Comedy is when you clap.
Yes. Yeah. Stephen Colbert lost popularity. Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, the whole thing's silly. But again, that's what, to my point, like that whole movement's sort of dying out, and Trump did have a hand in that. And so even if MAGA goes beyond Trump, which it's going to, there's still a debt of gratitude to, it's like, oh, at least he came along and started this spark. So there it is.
Another thing I keep seeing people talk about, and this is I don't really have developed thought about it, is like the 2030 agenda that was going on. Like when during 2020 we saw the stuff with Klaus Schwab and
Yep.
everything, and it's all going towards 2030. And even last like year and a half, I've seen people that I like and respect talking about how like something big's coming, and people are getting complacent now that COVID is has died down, and the, MAGA seems to be winning. So um, people are just going to get too comfortable, and something else is going to come. Do you think there is an agenda that has the ability, now that the left and the Zionism are falling off to the wayside? Do they have the
There's
ability to roll
always
something like that, or
there's always going to be an agenda for evil. That's what the world we're living in. That's from Genesis. So yes, I articulate and sort of draw out a path to how they could beat evil, could win in this specific situation with that 2030 agenda. No, but again, nothing's going to surprise me. I do see people sometimes where I'm like, did you still remember COVID, or did you forget about that lesson? So there is that. I don't understand how that will be laid out, and I can't articulate the plans that they have. But again, dude, if some major sort of the virus or something got spread, or there's 1,000 things that could all of a sudden freak people out again.
right?
Sort of electricity being shut down, grids being shut down, the internet failing. I mean, the powers that be still have these powers to do things that would certainly panic most people. And I think that's the importance of the church, is that despite what's going on all around us, whether it's COVID, a war, censorship, people shutting our bank accounts off, which they still have the ability to do, this sort of national ID thing, microchipping, all of these things are still being planned. And certainly with AI, there's certain threats, but we still have the church, and that outlasts everything. So that's the white pill for us. Yeah, there could be some 2030 thing. I don't know. But I don't necessarily have to be able to work it out in my mind what they're going to do and what's going to happen, because we have the church, and that's where our worldview starts. That's our fallback. That's our default, and that's sort of our guide and our protection.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think if it was, let's just say, like the same timeline towards 2030, uh, the power would have to probably come from within the MAGA base being corrupted, or
Yes.
siding with the Zionists, because that's
Yes.
if you're to put all these plans out, like you can have all the money and you can have connections, but if you don't have that top-down structure of the base supporting the head, it's going to be much harder to actually have the pull to do stuff. So, I mean, obviously the right has all the power now, and it's increasing power, it's increasing the narrative. It would have to be like this. I don't think the Zionists can win unless, you know, I don't know, Gen Alpha becomes super Zionist all of a sudden or something.
I think that ship sailed. That USS Liberty ship has sailed. Yeah, it would probably have to be some sort of subversive element. And Texas Nevsky or someone said, what if, unseen warfare, what if the church hierarchy accepts the agenda? There is that threat too, for sure. Certainly.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was 2020.
Yeah. But if you look at 2020, there was always those within the church hierarchy who didn't accept it. Half of Athos did, half did not. The EP certainly, but everyone understands like that part of the church is compromised, and it is what it is, and we all know that. And even when there's subversive elements within Orthodoxy, it's 2%. It gets 2% favorability, and everyone else recognizes that, because people coming to the church, especially newcomers and converts, a lot of us came here because we're skeptical of the outside world. So if some hierarch starts to go, well, this Netanyahu's plan sounds legitimate, or we should support Zelensky, it's met with like, wait, no, what are you, compromised? Not like, oh, yes, sir. So there's still that. And I think that's healthy.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's not just converts, but Cradle too. I mean, I've met Cradle here in my area that like this one girl was dating a Protestant, and we were just talking about it, and she's like, well, he's a Christian too. Like, I don't understand what's wrong. Like, he doesn't have to be Orthodox. I'm like, I mean, you make your own life decisions, but it's not the same faith. He doesn't believe in the true Christ in the fullness of the sense. He's not partaking of the sacraments. He's not in union with Christ.
Every monk I've spoken with, and I don't want to, I'm not like sort of lowering their status by using this word, but it's just because we're on the internet and we all understand it. Every one of them has been super based. And so much so that I've had deep discussions where I'm like, man, if this dude tweeted this stuff, people would be like, oh my God. But so I think the monasteries and the monastics are sort of the heart and soul, the heartbeat of the Orthodox Church. And that is still keeping the truth alive, basically, for the rest of us.
I agree. Yeah, it's a lot to be hopeful about. I don't think there's any reason to be afraid. And any of the things that might be on the horizon that, you know, like you said, we don't really know the manifestations of those things. Obviously, there's that spirit. That spirit's not going to go away until after the second coming. Right. We just don't know the instantiations.
Yeah, that's the sort of exciting part. Like, you know, I sort of look at it. It's easy to get caught up in the happenings of the moment with the Epstein files and what war might happen next. And those things do make a difference. And it's just, I'm kind of excited in the political junkie aspect of me, which I've put to the side for the most part, but I still have that instinct in me. Like, things are going to, you know, it was, I think the Speaker of the House said, Mike Johnson said, well, if we don't redact some of this information, it's going to be, it could be the downfall of the political system or something along these lines. And it's like,
isn't that an admittance?
Okay. For one, that's not scary to me. But two, why would that be? A pedophile sex ring could hurt the political system? Why? And so, I mean, I assume we're going to find out something, you know, I'm white pilled in that way. And I know the black pillar's like, no, nothing will ever happen. Maybe nothing will ever happen with it, but we're certainly moving along into some uncharted waters, it feels like to me. So the collapse of the trust in the political system makes me smile. It does not scare me. So Mike Johnson, whatever maybe it's against you. I at this point, I'm okay it's not like I'm a diehard Trump guy where if he's, I don't think he did anything specifically with women that he's going to be named. I doubt that. But if he did, I'd rather know that than not. And I think I think it's healthy. Sunshine, boy, you shine a little light in the room and the cockroaches start scattering and freaking out. And I think that's sort of the part of the game that we're in right now.
Well, the biggest piece of evidence that makes me think Trump isn't in the Epstein files is that wasn't that something he campaigned on, was releasing them? Why would he do that if he knew that was going to, and I guess unless he knew he was in it and he just knows that's a big deal and then he doesn't do it, but that would hurt his movement.
Yeah.
Short-term win for a long-term loss.
Right. I don't know. It's hard to say with him. He's such a unique guy. Just seeing what I see of him, I just don't see that. Honestly, if they said, I bet you George Bush is implicated. Oh, honestly, I can't. Well, I can see George Bush. I can't see him banging a bunch of young girls. I mean, maybe it's because I grew up knowing who he was in this state. He seems like a goofy, sort of dumb, nice guy that gets fooled by a lot of things, as he did in his presidency. Even when I talk to 9/11 people, I don't specifically think George Bush knew what was about to happen. I think people around him did. But he's sort of this soft, lovable little dumb guy in that he seems easily played, much like Kamala Harris. He seems to be like her. She wouldn't have known a lot of things, but those around her certainly would have, but she was dumb enough to play. Biden became like that at the end. I think for a long time, he did have a hand in evil things as he was in Congress for his entire life, basically.
With the Biden laptop, we know that he was implicated in orchestrating all of that.
But at the end, is anyone going to say like, oh no, Biden knew exactly what the election was rigged? It's like, do you think he knows anything at all? I don't.
He didn't know any of the executive orders he signed.
No, right. So there's a certain level to where I think people around certain personalities are the ones pulling strings. I think Trump has his strings being pulled in different directions. However, I could see him implicated like, well, he did this business deal with Epstein. Well, he did this with him. He went on his and I could be totally wrong. I don't suspect that he was like copulating with young females. I could be totally wrong on that. That's just where I see it so far.
I mean, I'm a lot of the Gen Z guys are, because they're so into the JQ, think that Trump is like totally their puppet, and I just don't think I have enough information to make that conclusion. Like even with the Israel-Iran thing, people were saying, oh, he's just doing Netanyahu's bidding, and that's the higher up, that's who's in charge. Well, Tel Aviv got hammered pretty hard, and Trump said things pretty aggressively towards him. He said he doesn't know what the F he's doing, and at one point he said, I hate that guy. So I look at it more like these are the Zionists have a lot of power, a lot of influence, a lot of money, and that's something that's been infiltrated our government for wherever you want to say it, the last 60 years.
Yes, decades. And it was Massey that said every representative other than him had an AIPAC person.
Right. So clearly there's ties, there's a spider web going on, and if Trump's doesn't have a tie to it, he's still dealing with it. It's still something a power block within that he has to navigate, even if he is anti-Zionist. I think he probably is not ideological. I think he's looking at this, how do I make the deal? How do I get what I want for my people?
He's a power guy, and he's not. I don't think he's super based like Nick Fuentes or something like, oh, watch out for these guys. He's probably like, wait, who are they? What's this guy trying to screw me over? Oh, I'll negotiate. That's sort of the feel I get about him.
Texas Nevsky brought up a good point. If Trump was guilty of the Epstein type crimes, the Dems would have isolated it and exposed it back in his first term. I think, when Biden took charge, wouldn't they have had access to the Epstein files? Wouldn't they have been able to look through and see and pull it out and say, look, we have the receipts?
The only thing I would say about that, I heard some people saying that initially, and it's like, because they're all implicated. Why do you think the people in the Biden administration want to bring up Epstein files?
Well, couldn't they redact everything that's
Trump?
Them? Yeah, well, I
mean,
all the Republicans. I guess because the Republicans and the Dems are all together.
That's the thing. I think a lot of them are implicated in this, and so the last thing, it's like if you have like everyone in my cul-de-sac here has this sex ring going on, and then all of a sudden I win king of the cul-de-sac, and everyone goes, well, if Buck was in that ring, the last person would have implicated him. It's like, well, they're all implicated too. They don't want to be, they don't want to bring this up. And so there's that. That's my feeling on that. Like, this is going to, I assume, go further and wider than we probably imagine.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is why Mike Johnson said it might shock the whole political system or bring it down. It's like, that's fascinating that you would say that out loud. A child pedophile ring run by the state of Israel would bring down the American political system. Well, did you just tell us the truth at that point?
Yeah, I think that is saying that everyone is implicated by it. So
yeah.
Are there any other happenings in the info war lately? I mean, we talked about Epstein. That's been a big focal point.
I mean, just this Zionist stuff, again, like we mentioned, so they're in their last dying breaths. I mean, that ties in with the Epstein stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you notice the same people that hate Tucker Carlson, well, we know why. It's always the Epstein and Israel stuff that he keeps pushing. Other stuff, well, it's interesting. I think the Orthodox Church is about to be not under the radar, or excuse me, on the radar, under the microscope, really, but we are getting out there more. My mom texted me the other morning because she watches, of course, Fox and Friends, and said that she said there's a segment coming up on the Orthodox Church and why so many young people are joining.
Probably has Josiah Trenum on it.
They didn't. I said, can you record it or tell me who the guest is? The guest wasn't a guest. It was just a reporter. And my mom texted me back and said it was pretty good. It said that people are looking for the truth and et cetera. And okay, cool. But that was on Fox and Friends. So boom. Now their audience isn't massive, but a couple 100,000 people probably saw that. And then we've got this day of action that's coming up in Washington, D.C., where we're meeting with Capitol Hill, members on Capitol Hill, to explain what's going on in Ukraine and Russia and what's happening with the church in Ukraine. And again, that's why that Republican guy from South Carolina has already been fed talking points. So the fact that he's out there tweeting like Rokor's a agent of Putin and all of these things, to someone were a threat. So they've already got to like rehash and make up these new talking points, both, and get this guy. I'm sure Randy Fine will be on saying negative things against us. But the fact that we're already now on a radar that we weren't on before is interesting to me. Again, it speaks to the growth. It speaks to the truth of the church. It speaks to sort of basically the last living rock of truth that's out there. And so I think we will be on the radar more than we have been, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, because I mean, we haven't really. I mean, there's been like persecution light. There's been more subversion than persecution, and even like as a Protestant growing up, I'd hear about, all the Christians are going to be gathered up and put in camps and all this stuff. It never happened, but it was more like we're looked down on, and people think we're backwards, and you can't really, you can't talk about it. And there's the people that have to make gay cakes or whatever, and kind of cultural persecution more than actual persecution.
The actual persecution in 2025 and beyond, it doesn't have to be rounding us up. It can be shutting off our banks. If you're on the power grid, which I am. Wait, if you're listening out there, I'm not. But it's shutting that I can't pay electricity, or unless you get a digital ID,
right?
You can't bank or buy things, sort of Mark of the Beast-esque. So that's, in my opinion, like that sort of way is the future of shutting us up, rather than it's in this day and age. I mean, we'll see. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but I think It's like when the guys here in Texas, Republicans for my whole life, they're going to come for our guns. It's like, they're not coming for your guns. And I'm a gun guy. There's no way an armed federal agency wants to go around to Texans and say, give me your guns. It's going to be a bloodbath and they will lose. They know that. But they can shut your bank account off and you can't buy any. And so I think that's sort of the future of persecution.
Right. Yeah. Somebody made a good point earlier that the 2030 agenda is still winning and is alive in Europe. It hasn't won here. So I think there's a clear difference in the battleground from here to Europe. And Europe has been becoming and is like just a big Islamic state now. So
Canada too. I was just talking with Mano and he was like, he kind of teasing me like, you're in such a bubble, man. Like, and I'm jealous. In Texas, like, you don't, like, he says, you say Austin's like bad. Austin would be like the furthest right-wing bastion in Canada if it was up in Canada. And so he said that digital ID is going to roll out up there, and that's why he's getting the heck out of there. But he did say, we had this discussion, and I said, I'm not really a like my Constitution guy.
Right.
And he's like, dude, it does help. I understand they trample on it at times, but if you did not have that, you'd be Europe and Canada.
How true do you think that is, that the Constitution, because I think it was Yarvin that said the brilliance of the Constitution is that it can be whatever you want it to be. You can use it. It's malleable to whatever president's in power. They can highlight and reinterpret things to use it as a powerful tool.
Well, he's right and wrong on that. So, and not to take the middle ground, but certainly they've done that. I mean, what war has been declared by Congress since Vietnam? I don't think any of them have. So they've trampled all over that. That part doesn't matter. Somehow, though, it has allowed a gun culture that I think's healthy. Again, I'm not like a free speech champion, whatever, it's fine. But I think in some regards, the First Amendment has helped. The 10th Amendment's been ran roughshod over since the Civil War ended. But there's just a few things, I suppose. So it's not like I have a copy hanging on my wall, because I certainly don't. I'm not some sort of like American flag, here's my Constitution. None of those things are particularly I love. But I guess when I don't want to sound spoiled either, but because when I talk to Mano and when I talk to my friends in Europe, they're like, I wish we had that. So either the spirit within that Constitution has helped a little bit sort of formulate, even if it's been a bit of a myth over the decades and centuries, it's helped us be taught like, well, no, there's the whole don't tread on me culture sort of comes from that. We really have that in Texas. But, I don't lean on the Constitution, but I suppose if you lean on it too hard, it's going to fall down. But for whatever the case is, yeah, Yarvin's sort of right. Of course, people have twisted it into things that they want it to be. They do that with the Bible too, but it doesn't mean like the original spirit of what it's in there is totally useless.
And I think I can critique the Constitution like in a Platonic bubble. Like, I can talk about the Enlightenment philosophy I disagree with, and that's certainly how that's liberalism, and we need to like,
yes.
Fascism is liberalism. We actually need to go further right than fascism, all that stuff, like all that theory stuff. But in the boots on the ground, us versus Canada versus Europe, I'd rather have this than whatever's after that, further down the liberalist path. Yeah,
100%. And again, I do know it's funny. Father Peter here's joked that I was in a bubble too. And my Rocore, Texas bubble, he's like, you don't know how bad certain things are within the church and other places and stuff. And then Mano tells me like, dude, I'm telling you, Texas, I was in Mexico, I'm in Canada. Texas is so uniquely rebellious and different against like this crap that's like landing on everyone else. So be happy about that. So I am in a bubble. I guess that's a good thing.
See, I'm in a bubble too. The Orthodoxy on the West Coast is actually really strong, especially up here in Oregon and Washington. There's tons and tons of parishes everywhere. There's probably 10 within an hour drive of me.
You're so lucky.
They're all the priests are connected to each other, and they have group chats, and they're all incredibly traditional, and they're not. I mean, most of them are not budging on like any of the stuff. All the parishes are growing, and there's not the ecumenism stuff or whatever. There's none of that, and there's no pews. There's no concessions being happened like anywhere. But I go to like the South, and I think the South, like politically, way better than up here in Washington. But they have all these problems that we don't have in the church. So it's this weird duality of I'm in a place that's really not great politically. It's pretty much like everywhere. It's rural versus city, urban. Like there's 4 big cities that are all left here, and everywhere else is salt of the earth, normal people, right?
Maybe there's something to that. I mean, look at San Francisco, the most blue city in America, certainly, and there's St. John Maximovich Cathedral right there in the middle, heart in the middle of it. So it's like a safe haven in the midst of chaos.
That's back to Pageau. He talked about California being like the edge of the world. Yeah, that's when you have like the darkest dark, but you also have the lightest light. That's where Father Seraphim rose, and all these people came out of this extreme darkness, and that was the pressure that made them glow. And draw to the truth.
Yeah, good call. And then the Soviet Union's what created so many martyred saints.
In my opinion, the Constitution is basically null and void before the Civil War. It died with the colonists that fought the crown. I mean, as a Southerner, I'd probably say the Civil War. Damn that tyrant Lincoln.
Well, I would have to agree with you. Although that's an interesting point. I'm gonna have to dwell on that, slow boy. Yeah, from the the circles I've always been in since high school with the secessionist movements, we look at Lincoln pretty much as the killer of certainly the 10th Amendment, but the idea that America was the United States of America.
States, yeah. Well, that's why I think the Civil War. That's when federalism came and all the states' rights got shoved down, and it was restructured and rebuilt.
Yeah, and reconstructed, as they say.
Yeah, it's funny. This is like it's almost like an American like Mormon, like a civil Mormon position, something like that. Like, the last apostle died, and then the church went into darkness or whatever.
Yes,
like that, with America.
Yeah, I've heard people say that. Yeah, there is no apostolic succession because once the last apostle died, well, then we're done until Martin Luther. Boom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or Joseph Smith, whichever.
Yes, yeah.
Or it was either the last apostle or Constantine. Those are the only two that the 2 points that they say are the breaking points.
Right.
Who would be the American Constantine? I guess it'd be Lincoln.
Yeah, or FDR.
But Constantine was good. So now
that's true. No, yeah. But it's still a history shaping force,
right?
Which Lincoln and FDR, more than any of them that I can think of, and maybe Wilson, shaped now for the bad. All 3 of those men made everything much worse, but they basically put us on this path. All 3 of them.
I'd be really hyped if we got like a Teddy Roosevelt reincarnation.
Yeah.
I like Teddy Roosevelt.
Better than FDR for sure.
He got shot and just like kept giving a speech and walked off to the hospital after.
Based, I know.
Yeah. I heard one story. I don't know if it's true, but somebody walked in the Oval Office and he was writing letters with both hands in different languages, getting a haircut and talking to the ladies, having a conversation. I don't know if that's true, but that's a
with
level
both,
out.
You said all of
both
that.
hands.
I know
different
all
languages.
of those things you said. Like both hands. How did he do that? And I'm a drummer. Yeah.
I'm like, if that's true, that's like level of output I can't even conceive. I'm trying to like wake up earlier.
Right. Yeah. I can't even write with one hand with a woman's yapping.
Yeah. Or like I was doing in jiu-jitsu last night, and a song I like came on, and I was out of the game. I was just like,
right. Yeah, I love this song.
Yep. Like, can we just no music? I'm gonna be out of here in my mind. Well, is there anything? It's been about 2 hours. Is there anything else you wanted to get into before we sign off?
That went quick.
Yeah.
I should say, since one of the reasons I did this at 7, for those listening that typically watch or somehow get my episodes, there isn't one this week. It's not because I didn't have one in the bank. Oh, there we go, Tatiana. Well, that's one reason when Westford reached out to do it this week, I was like, well, how about Tuesday at 7? Because I should be having a show at that point, and I don't. I have one in the bank with Father Zechariah Lynch. My producer had some sort of massive issue with stuff that's way over my head with hard drives and a bunch of stuff he had to get reconfigured, and it was a big pain in the ass. And so I said, he was like, I don't know if it can come out Tuesday. We might have to do Wednesday or Thursday. And I said, why don't we just skip this week if that helps you? And he was very thankful. So there isn't one this week, but we'll do this with Mr. Westford and instead. It was good timing by you, by the way, to ask that.
Yeah, well, I almost, because I was like, I got to get back into streaming. I've been working really hard on EWBSX, and that's been my main drive. But I need to get back into this and because whenever I'll have these big runs where I'm going for a few months and doing it really consistently, and I see growth, and I feel like I'm getting better at the little skills you have to do with looking at the chat, talking to somebody, pulling stuff up quick, all that stuff. And then something in life happens. I don't get on for 3 weeks, a month, and then there's like an anxiety in me that's like, you should be doing this.
Oh yeah.
But also now I'm nervous, like almost like stage fright to get back on. And what if I say something? What if I'm tired? What if I say something I don't mean, or I sound like a retard?
Yeah. Well, it happens to the worst of us.
Yeah. Well, that's me. So.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you doing this. And yeah, that's the only thing. The episodes restart next week on Tuesdays.
Awesome. All right, everybody, go check out Counterflow podcast. Look up the next episode coming out next Tuesday. Does it come out at a certain time of the day?
7 p.m. Tuesday night.
7 p.m. And now that I've shilled for you, I'm going to shill for me and Matt. So I'm going to play the new ad for EWBSX and get your take, live reaction on it.
They thought they had you under their spell. But now you can have all the white pill power right in the palm of your hand. Introducing the Goyan, the Gamma Oscillation Yield Interface Module. Your direct connection to EWBSX, the cyber bully, the only radio station that really gets it. It's peaty, it's high tea, and it's always playing bangers. Plus, you'll never be blackpilling again with plenty of high thumos sound bites and regular doses of timeless wisdom from the cyber bully himself. Available in 2 frequencies. Alpha mode for the untamed stallion, and family mode for sensitive ears. Disintegrate the limbs, the grifters, and the subversives. Tune in to the sounds of Eternal White Boy Summer today on your very own Goyan device. EWBSX, the cyber bully. Radio for our guys. But the power of the Goyan in the palm of your hand today. Available for download on all Apple and Android devices.
Yes,
Amazing.
Tatiana, it's an app and a website, and it's turning into a whole production company. There it is. Yeah, he's got his Goyim. Go download, look up EWBSX, download your Goyim device now.
See you there, Tatiana.
Please do it. I've put so much effort in it. I mean, not that it was going before I joined, but yes, for the untamed stallion.
Yes, that's me. Yeah, that was fantastic. Well done.
Thank you. That was I didn't produce that one, but it's great. Yeah, there's 4 of us, four main worker bees working for the cyber bully.
Yeah, that was good.
Whew. Well, everybody,
All right,
thank you
brother.
for coming in. Thank you, Buck.
You bet. See you guys. Tatiana, nice to see you all. Slow Boy, everyone in the chat.
All right, download a Goyim. Farewell.